Morning, all you rockin' ramblers. It's Wednesday, April 4th. It's about 8:15, just getting underway. What a difference a day makes. Went from almost too hot yesterday to thunderstorms and rain and wind. Whew. It was a interesting night. At around 3 o'clock, this wind just started howling through. Actually ended up popping one of my supplementary tent pegs, and so the tarp was flapping around a little bit, and I spent about half an hour holding down one side, waiting for the wind to dissipate and the rain to let off a little bit so I could sneak out and attack things down. Looks like when the tent peg flew off, it put a little hole in the tarp, so I'm gonna have to do some keeping fiber / duct tape repair when I get into town. We're about an hour and a half from town. Way too early to check in all likelihood, but there's a diner and there'll be breakfast. So I probably won't bring you out before then, but morning all. Welcome to my Hikification. So today's a really short day, starting at Deer Park Mountain Shelter at mile 271 and heading into Hot Springs at mile 274.6. So 3 miles and a bit to start my Nero and get to my hotel. Now Hot Springs has a lot of options both for accommodation as well as hiker-friendly places to resupply. Bluff Mountain Outfitters is a great outfitter. Laughing Heart Lodge I've heard good things about for staying, and Smoky Mountain Diner will be my breakfast. Welcome to Hot Springs. Hot Springs is unique in that it's the first town where the trail actually goes straight through town. So I don't have to worry about a shuttle or anything like that. Just need to find a restaurant to have some breakfast. I wouldn't call it a big town. It's got a couple stores, a few accommodation places, but you know, it's not proliferated with fast food restaurants everywhere, etc. Okay, now we figure out where we go. And so you don't get lost, the AT emblazed on the sidewalk. So after a wet walk, I had some breakfast at the local diner, stopped for a coffee while I waited for my room to get ready, and now about 1 o'clock, I've just checked in to the Iron Horse Inn, tavern, restaurant, a whole combination of things. And this will be my accommodation for the next 2 nights. Sitting area, big bed, lovely. Sitting area, and bathroom with an old clawfoot tub bathtub. That should definitely do. Just gonna make myself comfortable, charge up a few things, and then maybe figure out how to do some laundry. I think we'll combine today's and tomorrow's videos into one and give you kind of the Nero Zero experience and a little bit of tour of Hot Springs over time. We'll catch you in a bit. The interesting component about Hot Springs is I'm told that this is kind of the second primary place where hikers will exit the trail. First being Neal's Gap. Neal's Gap you get because of the physical burden that those first 3-4 days plays on your body. And for those either unprepared or unwilling, you get why that falls off. Those I'm gonna hike on a whim people, yeah, the drop-off rate makes sense. When you get to Hot Springs though, you're what, 3-4 weeks in? You've been through some pretty tough trails, tough climbs. You've been through the Smokies, tough weather. And so at this point, physically, barring any stress injuries or unexpected accidents, you know you can probably do the trail. So Hot Springs, at least in my humble opinion, is really that first tipping point on the mental game. Because here, you realize you can do it physically, but the enormity of the feat that we're undertaking really starts to play in. You're sore, you're tired, and you realize, yeah, I've done 275 miles. That's just a little over 1/10 of the way. I've got a long road to head. Morning, how we doing? Good. So, I imagine that influences a lot of the exits. The other aspect is apparently it's a pretty easy town to get in and out of. So if you're inclined, the exit from Hot Springs to your homeward bound destination perhaps maybe is a bit too convenient. That said, everybody I've seen and talked to seems to be hiking on. Hot Springs is interesting in that I know we're a little ahead of the bubble, but literally these 2 or 3 days worth of hikers all converge at the same time at the same place. Walking the streets, you're running into 20 people you recognize. I probably would say I've seen at least 40, if not more, hikers just over the last half day. So that's going to be interesting as we all depart. Whether that starts to separate out again or whether we all stay tight for the next few days. I guess time will tell. Okay, there's my restaurant for the morning. I'm gonna put you back into cinematic mode so you can get the full experience.
Go drive to the land, live out this face, rolling down the right time. You're out the
Morning. Welcome to the continuation of all things Hot Springs. Just making our way down to the diner for some breakfast. And I'm assuming you guys are good with the 0-day montage to delineate the town. We'll also give you a few other tidbits as we go. As you can see, part of the 0 day is a little gear repair. From that windstorm, torrential thunderstorm the other night, one of the tent pegs jumped loose and did pierce my carbon fiber tarp. Now this is towards the bottom of the tarp, so I'm not too much worried about the rain protection, but when this is tensed, I am worried that this slice could potentially expand. So we're going to do a little bit of a repair. Hopefully the carbon fiber tape repair will be enough. Just start with a little bit of a alcohol wipe just to make sure there's no dirt or debris and get as much of a stain. Now I did come with some carbon fiber tape. I'm going to get enough to kind of cover it and then a little bit more. Ironically, removing the tape from the backing may have been the hardest part of this little repair job. Okay, let's just get it nice and tight where it should be. Make it okay, now we repeat on the back side. Okay, that seems pretty good. It seems pretty secure. It doesn't look like it's going to pull anymore, but I would say the first couple tent setups will probably just do that corner a little bit looser just to make sure, and if need be we'll reinforce with duct tape, but we'll judge that as more of a game time decision. Okay, so let's do the wrap up here for Thursday, April 5th. I guess it's the wrap up for the April 4th and 5th. Spent 2 nights here at the Iron Horse Tavern, Hotel, and Restaurant. It was fine. It was clean. The room was spacious. I would say it definitely lacked a few amenities for the price of the room. So there was more of like a communal TV versus having an individual TV in your room, those type of things. So that was a little unexpected, but it's not really a typical hotel. It really is just a tack on top of the restaurant with a couple nice rooms. So kind of take it for what it is. That said, the bed was very comfortable and I had one good night's sleep, and I have every expectation of another good night's sleep to come. My Nero 0 day was good. I did exactly what I wanted to do, and that was mainly put my feet up. So the body feels really good, maybe a little bit tight. I'll have to make sure I stretch a bit before I hit the trail again tomorrow morning. But there's no kind of lingering soreness. I'm not limping around or anything like that. So I think that sets me up well for the next 4 to 5 days as we march on to Irwin. Not quite sure exactly what the schedule is going to look like. There's a lot of variation in what could happen day over day. I do want to start to push miles a little bit, but there's a significant amount of uphill. I am told Saturday night we are also expected to get a plummet in temperature down to the low 20s and snow as well. So whether that necessitates maybe a break off the trail into a hostel, there are a few options as we progress at a few of the gaps that I could look into, but ideally I would like to just camp out for probably the next 3-4 nights and then hit Irwin early to mid next week. You'll see most of the hot springs video is about food. There were a lot of hikers here, which was great. A nice community feel around the hikers and the support. But everything you need to resupply, etc., you can find. You just maybe have to search out a little bit. I would say the outdoor store was really good. They had almost everything you need. And the Hillbilly Market was surprisingly good for the resupply. Much better than the Dollar General. Great food though at the Iron Horse. restaurant. I ate there twice, a lot of meat, so I think I've got a full stomach hitting the trail tomorrow. I also have a pretty full food bag, so my ongoing struggles with how much food to take, I don't think I've completely reconciled with that yet, as it does look like I'm probably taking a little bit too much in. Anyway, I hope everybody is doing really well. I will get back to the normal schedule of vlogs tomorrow. I will say there is a public library right beside the Iron Horse, and I was able to upload probably about 8 videos in the course of a couple hours. So that was a pretty productive afternoon using 2 devices. Really good Wi-Fi there. The rest of the town though, literally no cell service. Even with Verizon, it was hit and miss. And the Wi-Fi you get at the various spots was slow at best. So just be prepared for that if you're coming into town. I didn't visit was the actual hot springs resort and spa. I'm not a big spa type guy, although massage might have been a good idea. But I just really wanted to kind of take a few days to do my own little thing, and so trying to coordinate the reservations, etc., even though it's just down the road, wasn't the top of my priority. But we will walk by it tomorrow and maybe give you a look. So that's my Nero Zero. I hope everyone's doing well. Till next time, Icon.